Many people spend a large amount of time trying to avoid change, and yet it is utterly inevitable. We insist on it with our outside circumstances while resisting it within ourselves. Many don't know that without internal adjustments, the external has no chance to alter itself per a specific request. Without the realization that what happens in our world is projected from within, the changes show themselves in drastic and unwanted ways due to the chaos within certain beliefs. They are blueprinted in an unintentional manner. However, change will always happen. It's what gives us the catalyst for growth, renewal, and evolvement. At the same time, adaptation terrifies people. We are creatures of habit, enjoying the routine of those habits with no disturbances, even if they aren't good for us. We spend so much time going against the current that change suggests that we often miss the opportunities provided. Complaining and grumbling frequently occur when something happens that we aren't prepared for, when ultimately, gratitude and acknowledgement of the experience is what is sought after. Nature itself contributes evolvement so we are able to propel to different levels we may never have known were attainable. In the course of nature, we're easily able to identify change through the cycles presented. There is life given, and a time to live where nothing remains stagnant. The process of death occurs, and then there is renewal. Just watching a plant or tree go through the different seasons gives us a glimpse of how nature extends regeneration on a daily basis. Once the plant has cycled through all of the seasons, it is transcended through many changes, including becoming barren and then reviving itself. This is the natural course of existence. It gifts us with development, progress, and expansion. We are recommended advancement through the course of our adjustments. The universal laws guiding nature and its evolvement apply to everyone and are premeditated as support for improvement and betterment of all. Once a person understands the scale of progress that can be achieved when we go with changes rather than fighting against them, it is only natural to cradle the favorable circumstances and freedom being granted. Nature will provide cycles that will happen with or without our enjoyment and participation. It makes no judgments as to whether they are being what is considered fair to us or not. There are generally occasions where a person is stripped of what they think they need in their life, only to be administered space for newer, better options. The only alternative is to gracefully accept and bond with these alterations in a manner giving us peace. This supports a fresh perspective, so we may avoid frustration from it. We often say we want things to be different in our lives, and when it happens, we don't know how to handle it. We will undertake change regardless of whether we do it on a conscious level, or if we just find ourselves floating along with what happens and complaining when it does. Taking charge of these types of transformations we want in our lives is the better situation. Obviously, it is our choice. Despite that, what we can't control is how those transitions will occur. This tends to throw people off when they're attempting to produce specific outcomes. It can become easy to try to direct in our mind how these amendments will take place. However, when the how doesn't come about in the manner we choose, we feel as though it is all for naught. This is an incorrect assumption, though. There is a course outlined for each of us that we do not have control of, and it happens in a very instinctual way. We absolutely have free will of the choices we make within our thoughts, wording, visualizations, and daily interactions with others. This encourages the necessary modifications to produce different results. Nevertheless, we are often not able to predict how those results come about. The loss of control, from the ego's viewpoint, can throw many off their course, reversing the initial good that provoked the original change requested. The ego's need for power during these times of transformation must be let go so the universe can do its job to assist. It is most advantageous to have faith in the process. Faith is what solicits miracles. There is a way to reach the goal, unbeknownst to most, which is better than anything they could concoct with the self-centered portion of themselves. Implicit trust in our higher power and confidence in the way our soul functions with everything and everyone else is required. There's no need to try to understand the mysterious method by which this principle operates. It would be a futile attempt anyhow. An expectation that our spirit knows best how to bring about the revisions desired is crucial. Many people will take a hopeless demeanor at this crossroad of creating in their lives. They have it all outlined in their mind how everything should materialize. When it doesn't happen the way they mentally see it, there is bewilderment. Relaxing into the knowledge that our ego doesn't know best is key. When it comes to getting to the most optimal point in the most favorable way, the me part of us does not have a clue how to do that. Letting go of forcing our creations to come about as we see fit is the most beneficial manner to handle adjustments. Our ego isn't even designed to be equipped with all of the information required to know the best route. This is our spirit's job, as it is in alignment with the laws of nature. Those aspects harmoniously labor for us, even when we can't see it due to being absorbed in the angst relating to modifications. Still, know this: when we ask for change, we will get it. With vital necessity, letting go of how we think things should happen proposes space for the manner in which they do. When we offer that release, there's only room for expansion within the process. It is the allowing of things to take place in a natural way that makes the development effortless and seamless. Mother Nature does not align with the authoritative dictation that shoulds express, and cannot be harmonious with that type of energy. Successful people, those producing the outcomes they desire, adapt to change easily. They do not let a sidetrack sway the way they feel. There is absolute faith that their desires will come about one way or another. With forward action and no care as to how the want manifests, they know it just does. Being adaptable to occurrences, so as not to try to control what is already taking place in the development of creations, is the manner in which a person allows the formation to come about. Because you want to alter certain aspects of your life, you are already noticing you are also outgrowing what doesn't serve you anymore. This is very natural. There are many things we bring into our lives that later become creations no longer needed. Evolution is inevitable. We may work our entire life for something, only to suddenly realize it isn't what we want moving forward. There's nothing wrong with that. Everything is a growing process. Everything and everyone changes. We can change our mind. It's okay. We can have a change of heart. Sometimes we do. We can think we want something and then decide we don't. Not a problem either. All of this is normal and natural. Like snakes shedding our skin, we consistently produce newer and fresher layers from beneath. Once the outer layer is no longer needed, we move on to the next. The course is essential and instinctive. Expectancy of new encounters is normal, and renewal occurs by design. Otherwise, life would be at most ordinary. Without this, we would have never moved past the caveman stage, or possibly even the amoeba stage. One of the keys to adapting and settling into change comfortably is to heed what is given at any particular moment in time. Moreover, when we're specific about alterations and consciously work towards our wants, having the wherewithal to accept how the changes come into our lives is a prominent way to have a high success rate. By observing what is happening in our life in any given moment, and agreeing to be okay with it, we can relax into knowing that nature and the universe are catching up with our requests for advancement. When we have finally grown through participation, preferably in a graceful manner so as not to go against the current, we are provided the luxury of watching our wish be granted for the original adjustment requested. Energy coincides with how momentum takes place within what we consider to be time and space. The energetic level underlying the modification desired must be given time to adjust accordingly. Although this amount of time varies within the energetic field of the creator, including the level in which they've mastered creating. It can be equated to the way in which the tides conduct themselves. There is a current within energy. When the correct requests through thoughts, wording, visualization, belief, and faith are acknowledged by that energy, it will require an adjustment in a different direction than what it was previously told to do. Think of the way a bowl of water would move if you were to put a spoon in it and swirl it around in one direction. Now imagine what would happen if you were to immediately start swirling the spoon in the opposite direction. At first, it would cause friction with the motion. There would be no distinct pattern. But within a few moments, the water would catch up to the new motion you've submitted and flow nicely on the new course. If reversed again, back to the way you were previously doing it, it would catch back up with that too. If you sporadically swirled your spoon in one direction, back in the other, then back again, and so on, the water would never have a chance to form a steady current in any direction. This is the same way in which the current of our energy works. It must be given a time period to adjust to the new request. It does not stop cold in its tracks to take a new route or reverse itself. The pattern our energy is presently moving in takes a moment to revise in order to answer our petition. Patience and understanding are necessary elements. This analogy recommends the reasoning for us to be accepting of this fact. It gives proof of why it is so crucial to remain steadfast in new, productive manners without reverting back to old mannerisms. A steady course requires steady attention. In the meantime, we are imparted the probability for growth in the area of our request. An appeal for change is the springboard for advancement. We must pass through the growth phase in order to reach our new prize. That is how evolution occurs. The time frame coinciding with each type of request and its particular requester differs based on both variables, making the possibilities of those time frames endless. By practicing the points given, we are able to see that we can give ourselves increased chances of manifesting our alterations with less effort, discomfort, and time. Although there is an interval for energy and change to catch up with our call for a creation, we sometimes impede this even further. There is additional time endured when we add to the recipe our own restricted assumptions about how long it takes for something to happen. As a society, we have entranced ourselves with the belief that it takes hard work and a lot of time to succeed in doing anything we consider to be of relevance. This is a falsity. We are more than capable of creating instantaneous changes within our lives once we assimilate how to correctly utilize the proper methods and procedures. The problem with instant manifestation, according to nature, is the lack of personal involvement we have within ourselves at this point in time. To give such immediate power to those who have not learned the consequences of their abilities could and would be disastrous. This is the reason behind the growth and knowledge taking place while familiarizing oneself with the creator they are. It is a phase equipped to implement proficiency in our comprehension of the ramifications of each of our creations, as well as the effects they have on the entirety of the group. Immediate results prior to this comprehension might be calamitous. One thought in the wrong direction could cause drastic changes in the course of things. Our manifestations should only be used for the good of ourself and those around us. Taking the time to make sure those creations are beneficial to all is imperative. Think about how small a person may make their world by staying in their confined comfort zone rather than attempting to make purposeful changes. Is a comfort zone really all that comfortable? Many will tolerate their life in order to avoid necessary movement. Wouldn't it be better to celebrate existence? Some find things in their environment that they believe in more than they believe in their self and their desires. They give power to these things in order to avoid the risk involved in what might happen if they attempt to discard or move past them. Thoroughly examining our lives in an honest way helps determine how complacent we may or may not be. We are each pitched the perfect ball to make a home run in any given moment or circumstance arising. It then becomes our job to knock it out of the park. Watching for those pitches, so to speak, is crucial. Relaxing into surface events prompts acceptance of the development presented in them and the understanding that our desires are in the process of becoming a physical and tangible reality. All of the forces of the universe and nature are delighted to assist us in making the most fascinating changes possible. In fact, they prefer we do so from their primal view that ensures survival of the species. It's only that most don't understand the beauty in what may be considered crude by the forces that be. In actuality, we are always being given exactly what we ask for and what we think about. When we're able to take a deeper look into the underlying messages gifted to us and evolve in that process, we can knock the ball out of the park every time.